Hi guys, and welcome back, and very happy to present to you the 2017 Christmas special. Doesn't seem like 12 months since the last one. It's gone by so very quickly. So there'll be a little bit on the building of it, and then we'll finish off with the final reveal. And after all that, I'll just come back to say goodbye. So there are only 3 figures involved in this little vignette, Christmas special vignette. This guy is a tank figure, a resin figure, and nice crisp detail with a hornet head going into him. And the other 2 figures are both from Tamiya, and I think it's a mortar and heavy machine gun set and some other one. I honestly can't remember. So they're all different bits and pieces. None of them are actually supposed to be going together, so that's why there's a few cracks and seams which need to be filled. And their arms will be in a very specific position, so I'll be having to do those from scratch. I like to drill quite deeply into the figures when I'm putting hornet heads in, because they typically have quite long necks, and I don't like cutting them. I'd rather just sort of file them and sand them down a little bit and get them all the way in. That way you have a little bit of maneuverability in terms of where the head's pointing. And I also quite like the fact that you can often get that gap between the neck and the collar, which is, look, it's a small thing and you really don't see it from a distance, but it appeals to me. It just gives it a little bit more realistic look, I think. So the German figure's unfortunately rather badly wounded, and that actually evolves as the construction goes along. So he's had his bottom part of his left leg blown off, maybe by a mine. Not impossible that it was from a bazooka round. And this sort of evolved as it was being built, because I got to a point where I was happy with it, but then I thought, and this might sound a bit odd, but I thought it looked a bit graphic the way I had it, and ultimately did a little bit more to make it less graphic. So almost doesn't make sense to me as I say it, but it felt like it was the appropriate thing to do at the time. So the next little bit's sort of self-explanatory. You'll be able to see what's going on, so I'll leave you with some Christmas carols in the background and pop back in a little bit further along. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I have had progressive challenges with holding figures while I'm both sculpting them and painting them, and I've tried toothpicks in the foot or the butt, which I always feel vaguely uncomfortable doing anyway. The wire, because ultimately I want the wire to pin them to the base, but that can have some sequence issues if you put the wire in first and then try and position them on the base and get some registry of their footprint or knee print or whatever it is. And just difficult in handling. The alligator clips, things always seem to pop off. Blue tack, things seem to fall off. And it was increasingly frustrating me. So this is almost my perfect solution. The only thing I did wrong with regard to this vignette was I took the registry of the figures in the base before I'd put the wire into their knees. So that's a lesson learnt. Otherwise, this has proved to be really, really useful. It's cheap, and hopefully it might be of some use for some of you guys. So I use a Gatorade bottle, mainly because I drink lots of it, so I've got plenty, and I've been using the lids for quite a while now, just for paint. So I stole some rice from the pantry, just to give them a little weight so they wouldn't knock over easily. Just a matter of drilling a hole through the middle of the lid, and having it the same size as the wire that I'm going to use to secure the figures to the diode base. And then, of course, drilling the hole in the figure, making sure the wire is not too long. So just a little bit of a test fit first, and it's nice and snug. It's the exactly right diameter. Super glue the wire into the figure. So I've got 3 bottles filled with rice, but dozens of lids with holes in them now, so I can have lots of figures ready to go. And the advantage of this for me is you can just swap them out, unscrew the lids, put the next lid on, and keep on going. And the size of the bottle, it just fits very nicely in the hand, so you don't get any of that fatigue holding a wooden stick or a square block or stuff like that. So look, it works really nicely for me, and hopefully it might be something that works for you. I can carry it through into the spray booth, back onto the bench. I can use it for sculpting. It's got a little bit more substance to it. The figures, because the holes are exactly the same size as the wire, tend to be really stable, and you've got a good thing to hold on to, and you can have it at, move it to any angle you like. So anyway, for what it's worth, that's my not a tutorial for the end of the year. So I primed all the figures with the Vallejo Grey. I like to do that because it brings out, especially when you've been doing sculpting, it'll bring out all the faults, and that can let you do a little bit more sanding or cleaning up, and then put either another base coat on top, or go straight into the colours. I used Maskol to keep the faces and hands clear. Before I sprayed in basically the German figure varying shades of black, and for the US figures varying shades of the olive drab. I pretty much painted the figures fully and got the tonal variations with the airbrush, and then once that was done, went back in and did the detail painting with a small paintbrush and a little bit of washes. So I use Sculpey for the base Just wanted to try something a little bit different. So you bake this in the oven for about 20 minutes. I probably didn't bake it for that long because I was interested to see if I could get it firm but somewhat flexible. And it sort of worked out okay. I just wanted a little bit of give in the registry for the footprints and the knee prints and what have you. So it's quite firm, but it's not rock hard. Anyway, the rest is pretty obvious, so I'll leave you in peace. Have a look at this. Come back in a little while. And so that's pretty much it. Just do the final reveal now and let you watch that for the duration of the Christmas Carol, Carol of the Bells, which is one of my favourite Christmas carols. Don't know why, but it is. So have a look at this for the next 3 minutes or so. A few different angles as it's spinning around. A few still photos towards the end of that. And then I will come back to say goodbye and let you know what's happening next.
Sweet silver bells all seem to say, throw cares away, Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, me and the bold. Ding dong ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, raising the sound, oh, hill and dale, tailing the tale. cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, praising the sun. Oh, hear their day, tell their chants, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. All on they said, all without end, their joyful tone to every home. All the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, young and the bold. Ding dong, love is their song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, praising the sun. Oh, hear their day, tell their tales, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. All on they said, all without end, their joyful tone to every home. All on they said, all without end, their joyful tone to every home.
So I hope you've liked this year's Christmas special, and I just want to take this moment to thank all my subscribers and everyone who's watched videos. I think I'm rocking around about 150,000 views, or just short of, but even that seems quite staggering to me. And about 1,340 odd subscribers, so not that you're odd subscribers, you're lovely subscribers. So I appreciate all that, and I just want to wish you all an extremely merry, happy and safe Christmas. If there's a message behind this vignette, it's that whilst as a species we are capable of some unimaginable horrors, we are also capable of some unbelievable compassion. And I think the message here is that whilst they might have been trying to kill each other moments earlier, the two American soldiers are now doing everything they can to save their enemy. And I think if we were all just kinder to ourselves, a little bit less selfish, and a little bit more tolerant, it would be a much better place to be. And or I think that exemplifies what this community means to me, a tolerant and supportive community that I'm just very privileged to be a part of. So have a very, very, very Merry Christmas, and I will be back before the end of the year with the December supply drop. Now I've got a very long list that I sent off to Santa with a number of kits on there, so hopefully I might pick up one or two of those. And we'll also be back very early in the new year with a review of 2017, which won't be a very long video because I got 5/8 of nothing done. So take care, enjoy the time together with your family. Hopefully you've got some time off. Enjoy, eat too much, drink too much, and just relax and have fun. Thanks guys, see you soon.